Little, a short time in God's Word. Today, January 25th. We're picking it up here in Job 22, moving all the way into chapter 25. And again, what we see here is a friend who's going to accuse Job of wickedness. He says in verse 2, this is again Eliphaz, "Can a man be profitable to God? Surely he who is wise is profitable to himself. Is it any pleasure to the Almighty if you are in the right, or is it gain to him if you make your way blameless? Is it for your fear for him that he reproves you and enters into judgment with you? Is not your evil abundant? There is no end to your iniquities." And he goes on to kind of scold and really shame Job, right? He's saying, you've exacted pledges of your brothers for nothing, stripped naked of their clothing. Like you've charged usury, which is charging interest to the family kind of thing, and against the law. You have given no water to the weary to drink, and withheld bread from the hungry. You've disregarded the poor. The man with power possessed the land, and the favored man lived in it. You have sent widows away empty, and the arms of the fatherless were crushed. You were powerful, and you ignored those who were not. It says, well, therefore, snares are all around you, set in terror, darkness, so you cannot see, and a flood of water covers you. Is not God high in the heavens? But you say, verse 13, what does God know? Can he judge through a deep darkness? Right? God sees it all, and you're kind of trying to say, hey, God doesn't know. So what should you do? Verse 21, agree with God and be at peace. Thereby good will come to you. Receive instruction from his mouth and lay up his words. If you return to the Almighty, you'll be built up. Now, he's got some more. This is a friend. And I think it's because they're so confused as to how these things could happen. Right? They're living in a time where there isn't the written word per se. It's all oral tradition. So the understanding of God is limited at best. And how they viewed things in that world in that time was, well, if good's happening, it must be because of this. If bad's happening, it's because you're doing this. And that's what he's supposing about Job. So you must have a lot of skeletons in the closet. For you to have all of these things happen, you've kind of lived life pretending God can't see you. And so you've mistreated the poor. You've abused your position with wealth and ignored those who had nothing, right? Like pretty serious charges. Like if these were true, then yes, Job should be just getting it. Job answers, today my complaint is bitter. My hand is heavy on account of my groaning. That I knew where I might find him. I might come even to his seat. I would lay my case. I would love to sit down and talk to God, right? Like I go forward, verse 8, he's not there. Backwards, I don't perceive him. On the left, I don't behold him. To the right, I don't see him. Here's the deal. Verse 10, but he knows the way that I take. And when he has tried me, I shall come out as gold. My foot has held fast to his steps. I have kept his way and have not turned aside. I have not departed from the commandment of his lips. I have treasured the words of his mouth more than my portion of food. But he is unchangeable. He will complete, verse 14, what he appoints for me. And many such things are in his mind. Therefore I'm terrified in his presence. When I consider I am in dread of him. It's like, yeah, I don't get it either. I want to talk to God. I want to, but I seemingly can't even find him, right? But here's what I know. And this is so helpful because when we don't see and we don't understand what we're going through or what someone else is going through, we have to rely on what we do know. For Job, it was like, well, I know that he sees me. And when he's done, right, I'm going to come out of this. It's going to be okay. Why? Because he knew deep down that this wasn't a result of something Job has done. Right? There's that deep understanding in Job. And so he says, I've treasured his words. And here's the thing. He's displaying that he knows God and he trusts him. And there's a holy reverence and fear that he has for God. And so even in that belief that it's going to turn out in the end, there's that sense where he goes, man, I so fear him and reverence who he is and respect for him. Uh, and I think what he's kind of saying, like, of course there's probably things in my life that I want to see purged out. Of course there's probably things that need to be forgiven and need to be changed in and through me. But the righteousness that I have isn't something I'm holding as, I'm better than anybody. Right? He is too much respect and honor and fear for God. Again, when you read through these sections, take time. Take time to think about your own walk with God, how you interact with him, what you believe about who he is, and really begin establishing in your heart and in your life the links that will be forever unbreakable, so that no matter what goes on, you're able to turn people to him and you're able to turn your own heart towards him. Until next time, keep growing little by little.